They're on the money. Like, someone's commented there, I feel like Sophie Cunningham's the only one who would have done something back if she was on the floor. Sophie Cunningham got her. Sophie Cunningham got her. And I mean this when I say this. This would have been a flagrant 2, except for the fact that they allowed Marina Mabrey did what she did.
Definitely the W, especially if Sophie Cunningham is going to continue to fight people for messing with Caitlin Clark, because it feels like Caitlin Clark is going to get treated in a certain way in this league for a long time. She's not a rookie anymore.
Possibly should be a flagrant 2. She got her around the neck. And then JC Sheldon gets up, and then Sophie immediately goes at JC Sheldon, grabs her. Like, I'm okay with this being a flagrant 2, by the way.
Okay, she's already proved herself. She's won. And then there were some, ladies last night that were trying to go a little physical. Mm-hmm. And in last year, I think something we noticed, and I think a lot of people noticed, is when Caitlin would get bullied, nobody would do nothing.
That's right.
Nobody would do nothing. It was like, hey.
What happens when the WNBA's most fearless player decides she's had enough of watching her teammate get disrespected? Sophie Cunningham just called out the entire league for how they've treated Caitlin Clark, and she didn't hold back. But here's the twist. This isn't just about one player. Cunningham is saying the league itself is risking its future by letting jealousy and targeting go unpunished. Why would the WNBA undermine the player who pulled in millions of new fans? Stick around, because her explanation changes everything you think you know about the league right now. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now back to the video. Imagine this, a second-round pick, someone who wasn't even supposed to be a headline name in the league, suddenly steps forward as the one player.
But like, not when Marina Mabrey got away with it. Not when Marina Mabrey got away with it. The referees can't do it. And by the way, the commentators were on the money. The commentators...
They didn't know, like, whoa, I can't believe this is happening. I can't believe people are doing this to Caitlin Clark. Teammates weren't jumping in there. They bring in Sophie Cunningham. I had no idea. Sophie Cunningham was a black belt at the age of 6.
Yeah.
Yep.
They're on the money. They said that situation was on the referees. Because if the referees had just done their job earlier in the game, Sophie Cunningham doesn't have to try take one for the team.
Boom!
Wow.
JC Sheldon, that's cute. You want to poke her in the eye, then push her into a boom Mabrey thing? Go ahead. I'll take a take foul, and you'll eat the deck a little bit here. And then we'll get it. I love it.
Who refuses to let the biggest rookie in women's basketball get pushed around. Sophie Cunningham wasn't the star who had tons of endorsement deals or scored highlight reels every week. She was known for toughness, for grit, for throwing her body into plays most guards want nothing to do with. That's what made it so surprising when she quickly became the player, standing between Caitlin Clark and the waves of cheap shots the rest of the league seemed ready to throw. From the jump, Cunningham came into camp with one clear mindset. If Clark was being targeted, she would step in. If Clark was being left on an island, she would make sure the rookie had backup. And that's exactly what she showed the very first week. While most veterans on other teams were preaching about rookies needing to earn it, Cunningham decided to flip that script. She had been through that treatment herself. She knew what it was like to walk into heated locker rooms where the unwritten rule was to rough up the new star just because she had cameras on her from day one. That's exactly what was bubbling in the WNBA at the time. Locker rooms across the league weren't hiding their feelings. Talk around the Phoenix Mercury especially was sharp. People were saying that Clark was going to have to feel what the real WNBA was actually like, and that meant physical hits, mental games, and flat-out disrespect. For Cunningham, hearing that meant she had to decide,
Sophie doesn't have to take one for the team. Sophie doesn't have to feel like she needs to get revenge on JC Sheldon. Sophie doesn't have to be an enforcer if the referees just ejected JC Sheldon when they should have ejected her. It is not the standard that was set.
I know people aren't going to like this. I like the Connecticut team doing what they did as well.
Yeah.
I don't like the blindside cheap shot. I don't like the poke in the eye. But I don't mind the...
Physicality.
Yeah, I don't mind a little bit of like competitive, how you doing, keep it moving.
And by the way, if the Marina Mabrey one was an ejection, that's an ejection. That's ejection. I actually don't even mind. But the referees can't now say that's an ejection when that is less than the Marina Mabrey one.
Especially at the WNBA with how much is at stake. You know, right now they're at a pivotal time.
Yep.
There's a CBA coming up, I think. I believe there is some sort, because remember they were talking about holding out.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
You're
so
right.
there is some sort, I believe there is a CBA coming up.
Stay quiet and blend in, or be the one player bold enough to call it out as jealousy. Make no mistake, calling it out meant she would get targeted too. She didn't shy away. Cunningham remembered how Diana Taurasi once guided her as a young player. Taurasi's way of mentoring was tough, but it was protective too. So Cunningham chose to take that role for Clark. She started breaking what most people in the league tried to keep silent, that there were players going after Clark not just to test her, but to try to stop her momentum before it changed the league. That claim carried weight because you could see the patterns play out right in the games. Clark was getting poked in the eye during drives. She was being shoved off the ball in ways that weren't subtle. Referees weren't protecting her either. Plays that were clear fouls were ignored, and once in a while, it was Clark who got whistled. Cunningham started pointing at those moments, saying this wasn't just the normal grind of rookie treatment. It was organized. It was the league's way of trying to contain the rookie, who had instantly caught national attention. Whether it was jealousy or fear of change, something deeper was happening. The breaking point came one game when Clark got tangled up in another scuffle. A player from the opposing side didn't just jab at Clark, he tried to rough her up after the whistle. Most teammates would hesitate, not Cunningham. She grabbed the opposing player and wrestled her down right to the floor. That exact moment went everywhere. Clips of it flooded X, TikTok, Instagram. Cunningham's following jumped from hundreds of thousands to over 1.2 million practically overnight. To fans, it looked like she had transformed into Clark's personal bodyguard. But to Cunningham herself, the message was different. This wasn't about viral fame. This was about defending a teammate who had already been left hanging too many times.
Like, that is less than the Marina Mayberry. There's less contact there. It's less dangerous. She didn't get blindsided. The referees have set the precedent that that is a flagrant one. You can't do anything about that.
Drop it with no hesitation. Last night, double team, step back, sideways. How you doing? Keep it moving. Then how about her to the bench afterwards with a?
You like that?
Yeah, it was you like that, but that last one right here, this is a.
Let's not forget, Caitlin Clark clawed, and then Marina Mayberry got away with doing this. That was only a single technical foul. That wasn't even a flagrant. Blindsided Caitlin Clark, not even watching, hitting her on the ground. The referee said that is a technical foul.
Get to it. Get to it. The punch is I'm the one. And
She punched somebody?
no, she punched
herself.
Oh, jeez. Oh, no.
Shoot.
She punches herself, and she basically says, like, yelling in the face, like,
And the reaction proved something she had been saying all along. People wanted to see stars protected, not punished. Fans weren't buying into the narrative that Clark needed to be humbled. They wanted to watch her fly. And Cunningham's stand showed fans that someone inside the league was finally willing to put a stop to the jealous hits that were threatening to slow down the biggest buzz the WNBA had ever seen. That's when the entire story started shifting, because this wasn't staying an on-court clash anymore. Cunningham had thrown a clear signal: ignore this problem, and the WNBA could lose the future it had finally been waiting for. Cunningham's stand wasn't just about breaking up a fight, it was bigger than that. She was sending a shot at the league itself, warning that if stars like Clark weren't protected, the whole product was in danger. Fans tune in for the talent, not to watch cheap shots drag the game down. Cunningham's point is simple: when the spotlight finally lands on the WNBA, you can't let jealousy get in the way of progress. So here's the question: will the league rally behind its future, or sit back and risk watching this once-in-a-generation moment slip right through its hands?